Yeah. You live now? Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Wednesday, July 26, 2023, 9 a.m. Board of Health members and staff will meet in the meeting room 2 in Memorial Hall. We moved upstairs to the Selectmen's Chambers due to a recyclable phone problem. We can't fit in the other room. Roll call.
Gavin Byers.
James Boulaquire. Chris is not present today, he had other things to do. Additions or deletions not anticipated, 48 hours in advance.
Rick has added Bayberry Hill Road Lot 3 new construction as well as 108 Warren Road dumpster location. And I do not have minutes for June 2023. I do have them for May though.
Okay.
Do you have any of the septic permits for review, Rick?
No, just that one.
Okay,
Well,
so
why don't you
that's
take the show, Rick?
3.
So this is a new construction lot. We had looked at the other one that this was cut off of this parcel. Me prior. Me prior. I do have a, or I don't have it with me. This is a bigger parcel. So Bayberry Hill Road is here. Existing house up here is number 66 that they cut this off of. So there's a shared driveway, and this is the lot 3 that we're looking at. You guys had previously approved the septic for this lot 2, which is farther up here, and there is a wetlands crossing for that one. But they are just proposing a house here, a septic tank, and a pump chamber. So because there is a pump chamber, the tank is a 1,500 gallon 2 compartment, and then the 1,000 gallon pump chamber. And then it'll pump up to these 4 46 foot long leaching trenches. Reserve is here, so those are 31 foot trenches, there's 6 of them. But they're not asking for any variances, so it is in full compliance with your regs and with Title V. Proposed well is right over in that area.
All the proper stuff is in these.
Yep, so gas baffle on the first compartment outlet, filter on the second, and then this is just, it's got the pump and all the alarm and everything in there.
Yeah. These are event showed for the end of the system?
Yep. It's right here.
Okay. Any questions, Kevin?
Looks good.
Can I make a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion to approve. Bayberry Hill Road, Lot 3.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
You vote.
How far along are they up there on any of that?
I don't think they've really started. They might have done some land clearing.
Next door.
But last I knew, they were kind of still going in conservation, through conservation
Yeah.
to get the wetlands crossing for the driveway.
Awesome. Just 108 Warren Road dumpster location.
Yeah, we can do that one. So, we received a complaint from the owner of 102 Warren Road. He had some concerns about the proximity of a dumpster at his neighbor's property, which is 108 Warren Road. Well, it's probably about 25 feet or so from the dumpster. According to the owner, because I don't have any records of it, the well was put in sometime in the 1970s, and so it doesn't have a casing that extends up above the ground. Well, that's basically right at the ground level. And I guess, when we got those pretty big rainstorms, there was so much rainwater coming out of the bottom of that dumpster and pretty much going right to his wellhead that he had some concerns about it. As far as I can tell, so So the person that's complaining is claiming that the person is running like a carpet business, so they'll go and rip people's carpets out, install new carpets, and then bring the old carpet and batting home and throw it in this dumpster. He doesn't have any kind of a use permit to do that, so we're not aware of it. We're not sure if it's true. The zoning department's gonna deal with that part of it. But the concern for him is basically the proximity of this dumpster to his wellhead. So there aren't necessarily any regs anywhere that say that he can't put the dumpster there. And so, my thought, at least to start to deal with it, was to send him a letter and say, we got some concerns from your neighbor about the location of the dumpster. We meet out on the property and see if maybe there's a more appropriate place to put it that still, serves your purpose. And see if we can kind of just act as a middleman. There's some other things that I think are kind of like a stretch. So treating him like a transfer station and saying that he can't operate that like that per the state regulations, which is 310 CMR 19. But I think that the kind of the easier approach at this point, or more appropriate approach at this point, is to try to talk to him and see if we can convince him to move it.
Has the owner of 102 spoken with
I think
108?
he has, and it didn't go so well.
So there's some sort of like a...
I don't know if there's
Possibly.
a history between them, or whether this was the first time that they've interacted. I don't think the owner of 108's owned the property for too long, maybe a couple of years. But I guess that conversation between them didn't go so well. So we'll see if he's willing to talk to us and take care of it that way, if you guys are okay with it starting that way.
Absolutely.
The dumpster and the well are both owned by the same,
Two separate people, so
two
the
separate
dumpster's
people.
at
So
108, the
you got
well's
an
at
abutting neighbor with a well, and you got a neighbor with a dumpster, and the well is very low. I'd like to see a couple of pictures of that,
I was thinking the same.
because I'm not sure that that's within our jurisdiction.
I guess that's my concern, is that, there's, it's a drilled well, which is what I asked him, and in theory, all the seals should be tight. You really shouldn't have any influence from surface water. But if the seals aren't tight, then I guess, there is the possibility that whatever's in that dumpster could be.
The older
influenced
heads
by
were the
water.
vent area for the pump, so they were able to take in air through the head.
That's what he was saying, was he thought that was happening because as the water was pooling around the wellhead, he said he saw air bubbles coming out.
There's a dumpster. This is
You're
one
good at
of wherever, I assume
So yeah, there's
their
kind of-
well's like in here somewhere. What do
Yeah.
you think?
We don't have
It's
enough
right there. The well's
information.
like right in this tree area here, and the topography kind of goes down,
Down
so
to
it
that.
naturally kind of pools in the area where the well is.
I mean,
Yeah, we just can't see the well.
Yeah.
And the distance from there to the well seems to be probably over 30 feet.
It's about 25 or so.
Well, that wasn't a bad guess.
Yeah, pretty good.
How far do you think the dumpster is off the property line?
I mean, I don't know exactly where the property line is, so that'd be a tough one, but I would say, being 25 feet
Within
from the well,
20
it's
feet?
pretty close, yeah.
Okay, I think we need some pictures on this so that we can look at it more in depth. Because just looking at this aerial view and not having the actual distance from the dumpster to the well. And if the guy's paying for the dumpster, it's his dumpster, he can put in what he wants. We can't reflect anything there as far as what he's doing for a living. That's not,
Yeah, not our purview.
Sure.
Unless it's causing a public health nuisance.
indeed, that's why we gotta have a couple of good pictures and probably a more accurate distance.
All right, so yeah, I did talk to the owner at 102, and he said I could go onto his property,
Right?
so I can get those for you and send them to Carla.
Is this something that's extremely urgent or can it wait for our next meeting?
I mean, I think that the owner of 102 is anxious to see if there is some sort of a resolution. So I'm sure he'd like to see things move
Okay.
faster than that.
I'm gonna make a request that if we have Rick bring some pictures in and I can view them on my time and make a decision possibly for a special meeting to see if we can resolve the problem, because well water is a big thing.
Sure is. Yeah.
You agree with that, Kevin? I don't think that needs a motion, does it? No? So if you wanna get a couple pictures, you can get to me, Rick, I'll view them, and if I see there's a major problem there, I'll have a special meeting. And at that time, we should have 3 of us together to make a quick determination of what we think should be done.
Okay. All right, I'll get those for you today.
All right? Is there anything else on your agenda here?
I don't believe so.
Well, there's the Fed representation letters, if you just wanted to speak briefly on that, Rick.
Yeah, sure. So the PHEP is kind of that region 2 where you guys
That's the
can
letter that you want.
get materials. You know, they do like your emergency dispensing site plan that we had talked about a meeting or 2 ago. But the big thing for this rep letter is they do take votes occasionally, votes for other towns to get certain materials that you can get through the region, or that you guys can go in and request through the region. And so if you guys had a request for materials or anything like that, then it's usually Kayleen from our office goes to those meetings and would represent the town and make that request. And so it's essentially allowing her to represent the town and to make the vote for towns and at those meetings.
Good.
Yeah, is there you said there's a list?
There's a letter.
Yeah,
So that's what that is?
That's
Yeah,
the
so
letter.
that's just the letter allowing her to. It's been that way for a while now.
Yeah, I've actually gone down myself and gotten a lot of supplies. We were able to get the masks and the gloves and a lot from COVID. So it's very helpful, very helpful. And we probably would like a motion on that. Right.
Yep.
Okay, you wanna make a motion, Gavin?
In terms of just designating
Kayleen.
Kayleen
with
Gendron,
Rick
is that what we
and
said?
Ira as alternates.
So I'll make a motion to assign Kayleen as the representative for Townsend, and Rick and Ira as alternates.
That's the motion?
That's the
I'll
motion.
second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Here's a vote.
Excellent. Would you like to sign that letter? I'll get that over to her this afternoon.
All right. How long do you think you guys are gonna be here?
Today, right now? How
Yeah.
long?
Think long.
15 minutes?
Because I can run down to Warren Road, I might be able to get pictures before you're done.
Go ahead.
Put it in overdrive.
That'd be nice.
Do it.
Actually,
Do it.
that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Put it
That
in
would be
overdrive.
really
Even
good.
if, just email him?
Yeah, I'll text them to Jim and Carla.
Okay.
At least, actually, I'll get your number too, but I'll,
Just text him to Kyle, I got enough chunk on my
all
phone.
right, okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Rick.
Thanks, Rick. Drive fast.
That's awesome.
Okay. So, do you want to talk about the town council update?
I'll let you do that.
Okay. It went very well. We are exempt from going out to bid, especially where we went out to bid last time. There's absolutely no reason for us to go out to bid. So you can get into contract negotiations with Shaw's. The Board of Selectmen have the ultimate authority though, and they can decide to accept the contract or not.
Yep.
And then we'd have to put it in front of the town to go for vote.
Right.
And that's where I feel we're going to stand. So, this is a battle that's been going on too long. We gotta resolve it. We gotta get up to date, in tune with what's going on in our planet.
Yep.
Food is coming every day. People have to eat, and there's gonna be trash to follow all of it. So we gotta make sure we govern ourselves accordingly to handle all that trash in our future.
Okay, great.
Sounds good. That's good news.
Okay, and you've done the minutes already, thank you very much. We do have a few invoices. Chris found some batteries that have a solar charge, so we'll no longer have to buy batteries.
Oh, nice.
$180. Yes, he called me all ecstatic in Cabela's. Oh, can I do this? And I said, please get the tax exemption.
Yep.
The tax exemption, so he did. We have the Neshoba Board of Health first quarter, they went up 5%. Nick Vogel wanted some shoes, he needed them, we have a $125 allowance. He's done an outstanding job the last couple of weeks, he cleaned out that propane tank, like,
That looked really nice.
it was really
That-
nice.
It's clearly a large amount of work went into that.
Yes.
That was nice.
had to buy elastic bands, and I actually got a combination lock for the gate, which I returned because the old one works. So we're just keeping the old one for now. GW Shaw and Son overflow bags for 2 years, $3,276. That's for 2 years, that's not bad. They get $1 of every $3 that we,
Oh, okay.
that we have, so. That's that. And this is another heavy hit. The bulky disposal over the 6,000. We knew how bad that was gonna be because of COVID and all the Amazon boxes and all the appliances, so that's 3,500. So, one of the things that we will absolutely have to look at is keeping the $6,000 credit for the disposal, because I don't have any more money from grants to get rid of the wood and the plastic right now. I'll get more in November, but I don't know how much it's gonna be, and I'd like to, when Shaw's usually does the contract, they'll say it's 3,000 the first year, it's 4,000 the second year, and it's 6,000 the third year. I'd like to have it 6,000 all three. It's
Really?
just, but it's something that we can work with them.
Hmm.
Something that I think is definitely something that you're gonna wanna negotiate with them. The new receipt books with the increase of fees, so the boys have receipt books. And that's gonna be $355, which is not bad at all. Mosquito Alliance was out spraying for mosquitoes at the recycling center. They do a heck of a job for $70, I'll tell you.
How they killing mosquitoes?
They are. They are. When they spray for the mosquitoes, they're just spraying around the general area. They're not going around the perimeter. They're just spraying right inside, so when the public is there. So they're not spraying down at the compost area,
Yeah.
which I think would be a waste of time, honestly.
Yeah, I do too. I do
It's
too.
such a, I mean, it's, mosquitoes are just a,
And with the increase of rain,
mhm.
excellent. Recycling center update. The battery needs to be replaced on the skid steer. We have two options. We have Schmidt that will come out and do it
Schmidt Equipment.
themselves for the tune of $775, and it's a warranty of 12 months. 12 months or 18 months? I think it's an 18 month.
You said 18.
Yeah, 18 months. And if we go to Napa and we exchange the old one, and we have Nick Vogel, who is our cheapest recycling paid employee, who is he's a good mechanic, and he puts it in, it's only $170 for the battery and then 2-3 hours for his work, for him to go down, swap out the battery and change it. He only gets paid $15 an hour, so it can't be that much. It definitely isn't gonna be more, and that warranty is only for 12 months. So you get 6 months if you have Schmidt come out and do it.
Just over warranty though, but then we're saving probably $500, maybe $600. We could get 3 batteries replaced every other year. That's 6 years. So we can get a battery replaced every other year for 6 years, or get 5 more months of a warranty for the same price if we just replace it ourselves. So I think we should just replace it, replace it, buy the one at Napa. That's my opinion. Unless you want to have them look over the skid steer of more of a maintenance program situation thing, which I don't think it's got the hours on it that would require that, but I'm not knowledgeable on that. particular
I-
machine and its use.
I liked the way that we were going originally, and I had a different opinion of that prior to being here today and listening to what you just specified, which was excellent. Now, another thing that's in our favor is replacing the battery annually in the summertime. Make sure it's gonna start all wintertime. You'll always have a strong battery all winter with a summertime replacement, being a 1-year warranty. And I'm gonna volunteer to go down and assist him in swapping the battery as a supervisor, and we'll do it in that fashion.
Okay,
So we'll set up something for the both of us to go down there,
Okay.
yank it out, swap it, put it back in.
excellent.
And I can do that probably for next year and the year after if we get a 12-month warranty on the battery. But then I'm all done.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so you think that's a good thing to do, Gavin?
I really do, cost-wise. You're paying them $500
Yeah, it's a
to
hefty
install it.
tag. Yeah.
Well,
To
it's
get 6 months of a warranty. And most of the time when a company does that, it's a prorated style warranty, so they give you the bulk of the remainder
That's exactly right.
and they fold that into fine print. Now, I don't know if that's the case, but typically what I've seen equipment companies do with parts like this that are wear items, that's how they run those. So you don't actually get a full replacement warranty. You get a prorate deduction of the remainder of the warranty. You end up saving $50 when you should be saving $250. Because they're also gonna charge you commercial rate retail for that battery, not the 140. They're gonna charge you 175 or to $225 for the same battery. Maybe
And they have
name
to come
brand,
out.
but.
And they have to come out,
Right.
so there's the travel.
They're bringing 2 guys.
And it's Bill Ricka.
Right, well, that's not, yeah.
And so
It's just,
I don't think we got to vote on this. I don't think we need a motion, just to.
It's just a maintenance situation.
But, yeah, I'll volunteer to make that happen so we can save that amount of money.
do you mind if I give Nick your cell phone number? so
Not at all.
Two of you can call and,
Tell him if I don't answer the phone to definitely leave me a message,
okay,
because I don't answer all phone calls.
okay,
Because if I don't know the number, I don't need their activation.
okay, okay, will do. Will do.
All right?
Excellent.
That's like
Okay.
it. Thanks very much.
I don't think that we have anything else really to discuss with the recycling center update, Jim, do you?
You've got to discuss what we're going to do about that camera video that you showed us. And we got to think about some different lighting up there so that when these people are in there after dark hours, if something illuminates, it might bring them to attention. So if we put a solar light up there on a pole with a motion sensor on it, because she got some decent pictures of somebody actually opening the gate in the dark and going in.
At 9:30 at night on
So,
Monday.
We,
So that-
But this was
That's
before we changed the locks. So we have since changed the lock. And I'm physically driving down there, the mattress recyclers were here yesterday, and I physically drove down, I didn't give them the code. I met them down there and I
Yeah.
opened the gate personally. So
Yeah,
there's
I think that's
there's
the-
very few people right now that have the code to that.
so this is something to address at our next meeting possibly with,
Why would, like, you're up to no good if you're in there at 9:30 at night.
correct.
There's no other explanation.
Too many people have had
Big
the
pickup
access to
truck.
the combination and it's got to be stopped.
What happened inside? Did they drop anything?
We couldn't see anything
Couldn't
on this
really tell.
road.
It might be a good idea, just as general practice, to take photographs of the dumpster's contents at the end of the day on Saturdays when we're
That's a good
open
idea.
for comparison and
Okay.
in situations like this where we would need some evidence.
The other thing is that on the Saturday, well, we're all going to be going down on the 5th to count cars and licenses. Nick and Chris and I will install the second and third cameras because there's only one that's operating right now.
Mhm.
So we'll have 2 other views, so we'll actually be able to see what's behind because we're very limited with that one, so there's 2 others, so we'll have a much better view.
Okay. This is something we got to think about so we can, it's been an ongoing, I'm going to use the term nuisance for many years, and we're trying to figure out what to do to prevent this from happening. So everybody is treated fairly and equally.
Yeah, that's not a good situation.
Yeah. But
It may, we may need to upgrade that gate eventually.
The gate turned into a, I'm gonna stop there.
Well, it's really, it's the whole entrance, it's not the gate.
Sure.
It's the way, because they can just walk around the gate.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
We still have to
We-
recognize the fact that that is a right-of-way driveway. We don't own that property. So beyond the property is all ours. We don't own that driveway. And we don't want to lose our opportunity to use that. So we gotta.
well, we can't,
Well, we have
because
deeded access.
there's
Yeah.
deeded access in
Right.
perpetuity, so.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be weed whacking and doing a lot of cleanup. The mowing of the landfill should be happening. We've just been rained so much that they
Yeah, too
can't
much.
get down there. So, and one of the things that they do is weed whack. So we'll actually be able to see and possibly think about maybe getting a couple of 6-foot stockade panels and putting it around the gate. So just around enough that it will deter someone who has, and the only thing that worries me is then they're just gonna dump it right there. They're not gonna go
With a
around.
good camera
But
and
we'll be
motion
able-
sensor lights, that's gonna
But we'll
snap
be able
people
to
to
see it
attention.
and we'll be able to prosecute.
As soon as that light comes on, they're gonna say, whoa. Without the light, they can do what they wanna do. So we gotta keep up with the times here and use the technology available to us so that we can try to control that more thoroughly. Any suggestions, thoughts, ideas?
Let me think on it.
Okay, wanna put that for the next meeting when Chris is back?
Probably a good agenda
Yeah.
item.
Okay, Helen? So where we at now?
You're at future agenda items.
Anything for future agenda?
Next meeting, you have the Community Preservation Act presentation. Has anyone been following that in the selectmen's meetings? It's the, it was a CPA that was signed into law by Governor Salucci in 2000 as a tool to help us preserve each community's unique character, and over $3 billion has been raised to date. So there's currently Pepperell, Shirley, Lancaster, Ain, and Groton have bought into this, and they're going to be asking Townsend at a town meeting if you'd like to buy into it too. And it's to preserve the town, preserve the historic buildings, add character, boat launches, things like that. Senior people will be exempt, people who are low income would be exempt. So it would be not for everybody, but it seems to be, depending upon what you want in the town, to be a very beneficial thing that could happen because the money is there. So we have someone that's coming in to give a presentation. So you can go into detail about exactly what happens because the Board of Selectmen want all the board members to be supportive of it and help them raise awareness in a positive way.
So that, this is a, what do you mean by seniors and low incomes exempt? So this is a pay-in, a community pay-in?
A 2% surcharge is based on assessed value of each Townsend home that would be applied to real estate tax bills. The CPA
boy.
surcharge is
I don't like
calculated.
this one.
Okay, and I sent this out.
I missed that terminology.
I sent it out and Sean Pearson sent back a note, just one sentence that basically said, I have no interest in this because I want my money for myself and so he was not
This-
interested in it.
This is
but
not something I'm in favor of at all.
Do you want me to not have them on the agenda? Are you
No,
saying that?
no, I think it needs to be on the agenda.
Okay,
We can't
Whoops.
preemptively say, no, I don't like it based on a synopsis that's small and not.
Good word.
So we should talk about it, have a full conversation, see what it's all about, get the full big picture. They may match, you don't know how those programs work. Sometimes you pay in 2%, but at the end of the day, maybe over a span of time, you're getting a lot more back. We gotta listen.
well, the average home in Townsend is assessed at $390,000. After subtracting the $100,000 exemption and calculating the Townsend tax rate on the net value of $290, the average homeowner would pay $22.15 per quarter, or $7.38 per month for this. Property owned and occupied by 2 seniors or older with an income less than $112,000 are exempt, so they pay zero. A non-senior family of 4 with an income of less than $112,000 and change is exempt, so they would pay nothing into it.
That's actually pretty decent.
I liked
Of
that part.
exemptions.
I liked that part a lot. And what it not only does it preserve the historic buildings, monuments, structures, and historical records and artifacts that are significant to Townsend, but it creates, you're able to rehabilitate playgrounds, public parks, hiking trails, community gardens, public docks, canoe launch, public water supply, protecting it. Keep accessible, affording housing affordable, preventing the loss of affordable units value to market rate upon resale. All positive things.
We gotta see the presentation, obviously, and then decide.
Excellent. So I will contact them and invite them to the meeting on the 9th. I haven't yet because I wanted to get the board's feel for it before I reach out to them. So sounds like that will be a good agenda for our next meeting. If he can't make the 9th, then it will be placed on the 23rd's agenda. Okay. And the other thing that will need to go on for future agenda is the application fees. The Board of Health has asked us to raise fees in 3 areas. We have just recently raised fees for ourselves, but that is not for the tax revenue. That is for the general revolving account for the recycling center. And I already have the 3, so when we have a full board, we can present those.
So with that. Okay, I guess that's the end of that one, right? Permit fees is the one you just discussed, so this next meeting is on 8/9. Okay,
Quick question, the sticker quote, thoughts?
oh, yeah.
Oh, that was what the recycling center up to. I knew I was missing something.
I was coming up with that too, but you beat me to it, Kevin.
Well, it's 60 cents for a sticker. I can put the logo on. I found, I sent a draft
Yeah, I
out.
saw that.
It says it's 300 for 500 stickers. I don't think that you should buy, you could get it down to 53 cents a sticker if you ordered 1,000. I think that it would be premature to do that right now, where it's just for debris in the Townsend residents. How many people, how quickly do you think you're gonna give out 500 stickers?
I think we gotta see how it goes when we're down there doing all this stuff, how much panic attack these people have when we got some information, and see what this generates. And when we put this into effect, and people start coming in and we're asking for the credentials, the word's gonna go around town like a streak of lightning. And that'll give us a better idea how to govern ourselves. And also find out if we can control everything easier, especially if a key person doesn't make it a given day, anybody else that's in there can see these stickers and recognize the fact that that car's all right, especially if they get busy and they haven't got time
That's
to
a
do
good point.
Huh?
That's a good point.
So this is something we gotta fall through. I think the best thing to do is to start with the 500, see how it goes, and then we're gonna have to consider the non-residents also. So in conjunction with the 500, can you get 50 non-residents put together?
Well, what is a non-resident sticker gonna do?
We're gonna have to discuss that, and that's somebody coming in from out of town that's gonna dump anyway. If they're non-resident, they pay the annual fee for the sticker, and they pay the same way the rest of the town residents do when they get rid of their trash, rubbish, whatever. That was gonna be discussed, so Chris isn't here. I put it for the next meeting more or less.
Okay.
But this is going to give us the ability to start having more control over everybody coming and going, even with a brand-new person working there. Because we can tell them how to identify the people that have already got their stickers, they're all set to go, don't waste time with them. And as this program here goes into action and we make it functional and working, then we can determine how many more stickers we will need, whether it be resident or non-resident. Could even change the color of the non-resident, make it a different color. So it's right there. One of them's got a green thing and one's yellow, it's a caution. That way there, whoever's looking at the stickers can recognize that and not have to waste their time on somebody that's already signed up and ready to go. This is food for discussion, by the way. This is, but
Okay.
There's got to be something we can work with to help control what the employees are doing so we can have that working more efficiently. All right, so that'll be for the next meeting?
To add on to that, we're probably gonna need an agreed data set of what we're tracking on the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a list of what questions are we asking? What are we tracking? Is there any way you can put together
I can.
a list of what we would need to know? That way we can just tally this, how many residents versus non-residents? How many commercial? Probably total entry, and then maybe total yard waste. If we're there asking these questions, it might help ahead of time to have.
I think if you don't want to scare them, so we're
It needs
just
to be
taking
quick.
some, we're just taking some survey information to help the recycling center run smoothly and effectively. Could we please ask where your address is and what you're doing here today, what you're bringing?
And when we go further and getting closer to this, because we got to expedite this as quickly as we can, in my opinion, it's going to get a lot more easy to do, and then we know where our bumps and hurdles are. And over a couple of months, we can iron out a lot of the problems and make it much simpler.
Do you want to discuss who wants to go when? I know that Chris is usually there first thing in the morning. So
Is that something you can handle just by calling us? What time can you be there?
I'm working at 10, so I probably gonna be booked for about, if I can't do it early, it's gonna be tough to do it. I can
Okay,
be
well
back
then,
about
do you want
9:30.
to, do you want to sign up for like 7:30 to 9?
I can do that, if
Okay.
that's okay.
That's fine with
It's
me.
so it would be, we open at 7:30?
We open at 7.
It's 7. Yeah, probably 7:30 to 9 would be best, I think, for me.
If you want to go first and
If
do it
that's
that way.
okay. I mean,
Chris-
Chris is
And we'll
gonna be
just-
there anyway.
I think he's going to be there anyways. And if the people are there, we can have Sean Pearson, who's going to be there at 6:45, get the information from the people. If Chris is not there at 7 exactly, and he's there
I
at
can be there,
7:15.
I can do 6:45 to 8:45.
Do you want to do
Or,
just?
why don't we do that?
7 to
I'll do 7 to 8:30, if that's
8:30.
okay.
Okay,
That'll give me
perfect.
time to get back. I had
Okay.
a scheduling situation, so I've had to.
And then I'm
work on
sure
it
that
again.
Chris will probably do then like 8:30 to 10, and then I can take 10 to 12 or 12 to 2. What do you want to take?
I'll fill in the empty spots on that one.
Okay.
That way
All right.
everybody else is got what they need for their schedule, because my schedule doesn't matter.
Thank you.
Okay, that's good. That's good because we are meeting there next before our meeting, so we really needed to figure that out.
When's that?
Our next meeting is the 9th, and the recycling center is open the Saturday before that, so August 5th next.
So that's the day we're doing that stuff, okay. Make sure we're keeping touch here and keeping
Oh, absolutely.
some reminders, because I'm, don't go there.
It's all right. We're all gonna be there one day. It's a rite of
You are
passage.
bad.
It's a rite of passage.
Okay, so I've got a couple of pictures from Rick.
Excellent.
Well is 20 to 25 feet from the dumpster. And there, I think you can see the wall.
Okay, we got the dumpster here now. Do you scroll either side? What are you doing? That, oh my goodness.
Boy,
That's taking surface water in.
that's for sure not a good situation.
That well has to be extended. They're gonna have to get a
Okay.
well company in there. If we're gonna be able to do anything to assist them, because any surface water is going down there. See, there's
You could put
vented
a-
caps.
You could put a, yeah, right. You could put a basin around it.
A well ring around it? That would be a it's not 100% fixed, but that would slow things down.
Clearly, that's sitting in water.
Yeah, it's
A
a
lot.
mess, it's a mess. I'm surprised it's working.
I thought water comes out of it.
Then that is all carpet. You can see-
Depending on the
you can
depth of the
see.
well and the gallons per minute, there's a possibility of that, yeah. What were you showing inside that? See, that's not our business though, what he does is
Well,
his
what's
business.
they're running-
right there? What's all that?
Looks like wasted glue
That
containers.
looks like paint or glue containers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, I don't think that's,
It's carpet.
I think if that's within 25 feet of that well, I do think that's in our jurisdiction. To
Even
say-
crossing property lines?
Crossing property
Yeah.
lines, it's not a, that's a commercial situation that they're doing in a residential zone.
I was thinking it was a 4-yard dumpster, I didn't know it was gonna be a 10-yarder.
That's a big dumpster. And it looks from the aerial footage that there's room to put that somewhere else that wouldn't create this
It
problem.
would minimize the problem. He's already got a problem because the well is too low.
There's two problems.
So do you want Rick to write a letter and go
That
the
was my
mailman
next
route?
suggestion, believe it or not. We gotta inform Rick and let Rick go do an inspection on that well cover. And if it's actually below the surface of the ground, the water's running right in there from all rains and everything else, because those are open covers. That's where the venting comes when you suck the water out of the well.
You know what I did not do? I did not call in. We just had this meeting without the phone.
Well, we got taken off by surprise because we couldn't use our regular room and it's an oversight. I forgot it myself. Don't worry about it. Too late, it's on camera.
It happens.
Well, the cameraman fell asleep. What's going on here? This must be a boring meeting.
I'm awake.
Right, James?
This is Rick. Okay, I want you to talk to him about,
You can start, Gavin.
Are you calling him?
Yeah.
yeah, and he's on speaker, so he knows that we're probably, hopefully he can pick up. He can't.
He might be on my phone call.
Or he's in an area where.
Please leave your message for
He could be in an area that there's no
Yeah,
service.
give him a buzz a little later and just tell him what we come up with, see if he can get back to get that wellhead right.
Can we invite the 108 property owner to a meeting or to the office and just ask, hey, this is a concern. What's your opinion on, at a minimum, short-term moving the dumpster so we don't have an issue? Because they have a problem also at 102 with their well, potentially. So short-term, we need to mitigate that problem,
Here comes Rick right now.
if that's possible.
Hi, Rick.
Hey, Kyle.
You got a second? Do you have a minute? Okay, so we're still in the meeting, and thank you for the pictures. I'm gonna give Gavin to you, okay?
Hey, Rick.
You too, thanks. Hey, Gavin.
So it looks like that wellhead, we were just talking, it looks like that wellhead's too low to begin with.
Yeah.
So I think what we want to do is talk with the owners of 102 to see if we can do something about that wellhead, as well as talk with the owners of 108 to see if, at a minimum, on a temporary basis, they can move the dumpster. It also looks like they have glue containers with open tops.
So he's doing like all sorts of renovation in his own house too, I think, which is, another issue that the building inspector's got to deal with. Unfortunately, we don't have a building inspector right now.
Gotcha. So maybe we can contact the owner of 108 and just ask them to move the dumpster to a better location on site for now until we can have a more formal process to talk to both owners and come to a agreed conclusion.
Sure. So, and then with the well, obviously I can make the suggestion, but there is no, regulation that I can point to require it. So, current regs would require for a new well, but for pre-existing wells, typically we don't go back and try to make them meet current standard.
Right.
So I can recommend it and say, you should probably do this if you're concerned about your water quality and your well. Starting with adding casing and bringing it up above the surface level would help out.
Right. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
So yeah, I can definitely do that. So I'll talk to him, and then I will. I don't have a phone number or anything for the owner of 108, so I can send him a letter and see if he's willing to meet me so we can talk about dumpster location.
Okay. Do you have any other suggestions?
I mean, that's really it. Like I told you guys, the only other thing that I could really come up with was trying to get him for acting as transfer station where the waste that he's putting in the dumpster isn't being generated there. But it's kind of, I think it's kind of a stretch. So I'd rather try to deal with it this way before we take that approach, because I don't know how far that's going to get us.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Great. I'll take care of that.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Rick.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
No problem. Bye-bye.
Excellent.
Nice job on that, Kevin.
What's the name?
Okay, now we're gonna discuss the permit fees at the next meeting with the full board.
Yes.
I overlooked that. Okay, the next thing with nothing else to share will be the next meeting.
Correct.
Okay, which would be, the next meeting is on Saturday though. That's the.
Well,
it's
That's
not-
really an individual work.
we're not
Yeah.
gonna be meeting together.
No, but
And we're-
that's why we're having an open meeting here, so we can discuss
So
this.
we're not,
We're not gonna be there 3 at a time to have an actual quorum doing work.
Well, two people's a quorum.
Two
So,
people
yeah,
is
why
a
don't we
quorum,
put it in as
so-
an executive session to collect data on the recycle center?
well, why don't we do a work session? Not
A
an
work session
exec-
is
I'm
easier.
sorry, that's what
Work
I-
session. Okay, so I'll post a work session for the 5th.
Okay,
Okay, good idea. Okay.
all right. Anything else, Kevin?
Good on that.
You wanna assist me on 1.9.5?
Next meetings? So, next meetings,
I think he's meeting.
Our work session doesn't have to be mentioned here, just the next
I
meeting.
got you. The next meeting would be 8/9/23,
Mm-hmm.
followed by 8/23/23.
Wow, that's
9
neat.
a.m. Pretty good. I like that.
All right, is that a motion?
To close the meeting
Yeah.
at 9:48, that's a motion to close the meeting. at
I second that, let's get out of here.
All in
James,
favor?
shut that thing off.
Thank you.